What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/Cubamtv for this, another very, very exciting interview that we've locked in for you today. Today, we're talking to an artist that I know you guys on the channel have been absolutely clamoring for us to get a hold of, to get into a bit of a conversation with. Someone who I've been so impressed with musically since finding what he does and kind of diving into his catalogue. We are joined by the one and only J-Rox. How are you doing, sir? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, bro?
I'm really, really good, mate. I'm really good. It's great to get you on the line. Obviously, we've been kind of following a lot of what you've been doing recently on the channel. And as I said, the fans of the channel and obviously your fans as well have been reaching out to me saying, can you please get him on the show, on the channel for a bit of a conversation, a bit of a breakdown. So I'm absolutely buzzing to have you here. Obviously, it was a very, very busy 2022 for yourself. Do you want to kind of just talk me through the year for yourself? Like, how are you feeling as a whole?
I think 2022 was very busy. It's been like the previous years, you know. For the past 3 years, I've been trying to, switch up my sound and trying to figure out ways of pushing my music out of Zambia. And I think the last time I released an album was 2019. That was Scar, and it did amazing things. That's the album that had Green Light, Distance, Palabanda, and some of these other big songs. And after releasing that album, I started working on Enigma, and it took like 2 years for me to put the body of work together. And I think for me, it was more on just trying to get I have like this period of time when I'm just thinking of ideas and I don't go to the studio. So it was like, how do I make this project very different from the previous album? So I did a lot of sitting down and thinking, and the recording was done in 3 weeks. Wow. That's usually how I get things done. The only thing that delayed things were collaborations and everything. So fast forward to 2022, I released Enigma on the 1st of Jan. I could tell people were expecting, something from me because it was like 2 years after the last release, and they consumed it. They ate it up. Jan was amazing. Feb was amazing. We were in the millions of streams in a week. On Boomplay, because we had it exclusive there for a couple of days, and then afterwards we put it on different platforms, and it did what it needed to do. For the first time, actually second time, I worked on a body of work that wasn't focused on clubs and everything, because most of the times when you're doing a body of work, you have like this thing where you're thinking of the clubs. Like, I need to create something that's going to go out there and play in the clubs and everything. But I wanted to do timeless songs. I wanted to do songs that people would listen to on any day, when do a project that will have songs that will get people to people that are going through different things, spiritual things, music that they can listen to. Because I've also come to understand that we're in this era where everyone is trying to chase like a club banger, and we don't have a lot of music that has content, that has that spiritual side that people can consume when they're going through different things. So I wanted to do a timeless project, and it did what it needed to do. Until today, I have people that share with me stories of what the songs on Enigma have been doing for them. Fast forward to so we actually got some videos done. I had to travel in this December 2020 to just go and secure most of the collabos. So most of the collabos I did, I had to travel and link up the Revani, because I always feel like it's better and natural when you go in person. Of course. And link up the artists and get songs done, as compared to getting music done over the internet, Yeah. So that's the traveling that I did. Got in studio with most of my friends from out of the country. Got the songs done, came back, and we put it together. So we did some music videos of Enigma too. Worked on some videos in Tanzania, did some of them down here. And then, we're in a space where you could release like an album and let it be. But then the level of consumption right now of music is very high. Like, people listening to so many
'Cause
songs in a day, and
always waiting
artists.
for the next one as well. Always asking for the next one.
Yeah, like you have to be consistent and you need to keep dropping. So once you drop a project and it gets in the millions, people keep on streaming it, they reach a point where it's like, I've been streaming this like 1,000 times. So they start putting you into the space where you need to drop something, like work on something new. I've seen artists in Europe and just African artists, like, make sure that they have to be consistent. You need to keep on, releasing singles and just, be out there, because we've seen even the algorithms on most of these platforms. Like, the only way you stand a chance to get like playlisted and do everything is you need to have that consistency. You need to have your people coming back to listen to your music. So that's what put me in a space where I had to record Poetry in Motion. Poetry in Motion, I had Love is Blinded, songs like Nothing to Something. Crazy thing about that project is there's a group of like friends of mine that are in Kenya that I've known for a long time that came to Zambia, and we made the decision when they were in Zambia, because they moved with the equipment. They're producers and sound engineers. So we just made the decision, say, let's create an EP. And we recorded that EP in 2 days. And as per usual, for the past 2 years, my music has been getting mixed from Kenya. So I've been sending my music for mixing that side, just so we make sure that the standard and the quality of the work is up there. So there's like a lot of people that go through, that touch the music before it comes out.
I mean, you've mentioned here obviously already about kind of looking to get your music expanding kind of further than the sort of classic Zambian reach. You've spoken about obviously working with Rayvanny down in Tanzania, obviously having the kind of the Kenyan influence in there as well in regards to mixing and mastering. Like, how important to you, I feel, is it to I suppose continue that expansion into 2023? Because it's definitely something that we've kind of noticed in the UK. You're a name that keeps popping up over here, and obviously kind of wider circles as well. How important is it for you to really push your sound to a more global kind of audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I've come to understand is I've been doing music for over 12 years now. And once you get into a space where you become the one person, like you're the person that's doing everything, because I can produce too, I'm able to do sound engineering, but you reach a point where for you to grow and be able to find yourself in a different space, you have to trust people that are within their own spaces, musicians that hear things different, and to come into that space and add something to what you have. And then also, because I've been working on East Africa for some time now, I needed to get people that understand the market. I needed to get people that will help me change the sound. So now when I record a song and I send it to some of my guys that are in Africa, is they give you that side, say, listen, we need to add this. We need to add the sound from this side to make it work. So for me, how I look at it is the only way I can be able to deliver something that is Zambian but also is relatable out there is I constantly need to work with people, sound engineers, different people from different spaces, to add that different flavor to the music itself. Because sometimes if you don't sit down and allow people to be in that space, you find yourself creating the same type of sound that keeps you within the same space. So collaborations are important for me, because then every time a musician from a different region gets on my song, it's almost like it allows me to also tap into their fan base and bring those people to my platforms,
Of course.
So it's an important.
That's such an important thing, I think, for any artist coming from literally anywhere around the world. If you are going to try and push things to the next level, it's understanding that it is about kind of combining fan bases and building things as you go. It's been really interesting hearing you talk about collaboration, because it's something that I've kind of noticed about your catalogue. You're a prolific collaborator, both behind the scenes and kind of in front of the scenes, it would seem, in regards to bringing different artists in. And obviously on the channel that we've been building recently, we've been kind of looking into a lot more Zambian specific artistry, and it looks like there's such an exciting pool of talent kind of out there right now. Like, how exciting is it for you as an artist who is a frequent collaborator to kind of go, look how many people there are to work with?
I mean, it's very exciting. When I started doing music, Zambian hip hop wasn't recognized like that. We did have it there, but it wasn't at the level that it's at right now. And being able to play a role in making sure that we get the people to be believers and get like so many people to see the opportunity of them getting into the industry is amazing. I'm excited about the number of artists, like rappers that we have, singers that we have now, because then it means if we just stay consistent and we deliver high quality music, it can put us in a space where eventually we could have like a Zambian top 10 on big channels and get our music out there. Because at some point it almost felt like there was only a few artists that were pushing outside heavily, and it made it very difficult for things to be consistent. But now with the number of artists that we have, talented artists that are pushing and getting their music out there, it's just a matter of time before Zambian music is placed on the same level as Nigerian music, because we have like a very creative pool now, and our artists are also seeing the need to go out there and position themselves well. So it's just a matter of time.
I would agree. I would definitely agree with it being just a matter of time. In regards to like the quality level, in regards to just the enthusiasm more than anything else, in regards to the fan base, it's been such an exciting thing to kind of explore and kind of watch happening. And I've got to say again, something I always have to ask people when they come on the show or come on the channel in general is obviously collaboration is something that I'm a massive fan of. I love kind of working with people myself, and I love seeing those collaborations happen. And as you are someone that does have this kind of both this global idea going on, but also is very proud of what's going on where you are at the moment. If there was a collaboration that you could pluck out of the air and make happen tomorrow, what would it be? And who would it be and why, I feel?
That's a crazy one, man. You know, I consume a lot of music.
I have to throw it out there.
I consume a lot of music, and I think we have amazing artists in Africa that are doing amazing things. The crazy thing is I've done like a lot of collabos, but I think for me, most of the collabos are like spiritual things. Like it really has to really put me in a space where the artist that I'm working with and has like, we share like quite a number of things, like values and the way we view things. Because if we don't do that, then it makes it very difficult for us to be in the same space and trap this message into a timeless piece, right? So it's usually conversations. It starts with conversations before it's conversations about like, can we record? So it becomes a little bit tricky for me to pick someone, but I have like certain artists that I know are very spiritual. From a distance, you listen to the music and you say, there's really something about this artist that just, you know, has got like a different feel. We can't run away from the fact that Burna Boy's sound, you don't really need to understand it, but it's very spiritual. And I think we can definitely make some amazing music. I grew up listening to a lot of reggae music, and that's the reason why my sound is a fusion of a lot of things. Like there's reggae, there's hip hop in there. I like where Damian Marley is at in terms of his poetry and the way he delivers his music.
Also
after being in the industry,
as an artist, very versatile, able to tuck into a lot of different pockets.
Very, very versatile. And I think after being in the industry for a long time, from moving from a place where I needed to prove myself at a young age, where you had to rap and get like a lot of trying to find yourself. I've now gotten to a space where it's not about how aggressive you are. It's not about, it's about trying to make sure you articulate whatever it is you need to send out there in a manner that any person can be able to get it. And, you know, if you listen to my music now, it's very easy and very smooth. It's like I'm just trying to get it out there. And I think Damian has got that about him. You rarely find like aggressive songs. So I like that about him. And I feel like we could probably create like magic.
Yeah, I can definitely see it as well. As you said, that idea of your style, especially having all those different influences and all that kind of whirlwind of different sounds all kind of working together. Damien would actually be one that I'd have suggested, actually, if you were to kind of put the question forward. So yeah, it's crazy. Well, I won't keep you for too much longer because I know you're a busy guy. I know you've probably got about 6,000 projects all on the go at the same time that I'm dragging you out for. But yeah, one thing I do want to ask before we go, well, there's two more questions. The first one is, obviously, you mentioned earlier on not actually going to the studio a lot of the time. You kind of get your writing done, you get your process done, and then you go in and the recording's like a very kind of quick, sort of the quicker side of things. Is that the way you've always been with projects? Because you have such a high kind of output. Has that always been the way you are?
So, you know, I used to write a lot of music when I was young. I'd sit down and create concepts and, you know, put together words and everything. I haven't done that in the past like 5 years. So I know there's a message I need to talk about next time I'm in the studio. And I just know I need to get it done. But I try not to overthink about what I'm going to do, because I reached a point where I started confusing myself because I would overwrite things. I found myself in a place where like you're writing metaphors and you have these punchlines that the masses will not be able to understand, right? So I've been transitioning into a space where I'm like, how do I deliver something that's very mind-blowing but in a manner that's very simple? You know, can I deliver it to them very simple? And the only way is get in the studio, avoid writing, because every time I've written, like it becomes like one of those crazy things where I'm trying to figure out, like it's like I need to build it. So where do I add the wordplay?
It ties very much into what you were saying about collaboration earlier when you were talking on the Damien side of things. It's about like getting your message done without it being too crazy.
Yeah, so it's more about the feeling now. It's about the feeling is, can I get someone to feel something when they listen to the song, and not can I get someone to react to the line? Because a line is just a line in this whole body of work. But how can we get them to feel something from the instrumental, from the way the music is laid out there? Is it spiritual enough? Is it moving in the inside? Before, you know, we can just pick like one line and say this song is beautiful because they had this line, right? So I do like this thing where I know what I'm going to say, and then when I get in studio, I just pick. I have the headsets on. That's when I have the instrumental, and I started to pick from my mind. So it's from my mind, and I record in 4 bars. Sometimes I record in 6 bars. So I build it from how I feel, so that I avoid overthinking, you know, things. And I've come to understand that most of the songs that I've been recording recently, they have like this, they've got life. You know, when someone listens to it, they're able to feel like a bit more of Jay as compared to before, when I'll just write things down and I'll deliver them. And it was more on, can I get people's minds to be like, oh, this is amazing, than to get people to feel the emotion, the emotional side of things. So it's like I'm trying to find a balance between adding the right emotion to the music and also adding the brain, but simplify what's up here. You know what I mean?
Definitely. No, it's something that I've always kind of found in rap music. It's on the rap side of things, lyric-wise especially. It's that idea that the best lines are the ones that you go, how has no one said that before? That's something that because it's something that's so simple, but still something that you still go, wow, that's hit me, and it's hit me instantaneously. But how has no one been able to say that before? Because it's such an immediate kind of thing, you know. Well, there we go. I've got one more that I do need to ask you before you go, which is obviously 2023, brand new year. You seem very energized. It seems like you've got a lot of things bubbling away. What can we expect from you over the course of this year?
Yeah. So when I traveled to Kenya last year, I had a conversation with my guys. And they were telling me there's something I haven't done in a long time that I need to bring back. And that's going to be kind of do a lot of singles. Because I've been like a body of work type of artist. You know, I was like sit down and put together a body of work. So we have like this thing that we're trying to do this year where I get to release 10 singles by the end of this year. And we started working on those singles last year, like in December. So I have, I think, about 4 songs that I know are going to get people crazy, because what we're doing is now bringing the different versions of Jay that have been around and delivering them in this year, right? So that because I have J-Rock's fans that are now parents, you know? So I need to deliver. I need to talk to them on that level. You can't talk to them like the way I used to talk to them 10 years ago, right? So it's to try and find a balance of releasing singles that will relate to all the fans that I have, but be able to get like everyone to say, we haven't heard from this type of Jay in a minute. So the first single is coming out next month. It's a whole different sound, a whole different feel, very spiritual song, but very it has like this dance element to it, but it's very different. So I'm excited about that. So I'm starting my year in Feb.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to checking that one out. I'm going to be keeping my eyes very much peeled, obviously, on all of your socials and things like that, keeping up to date with the releases. Obviously, on this channel, we love what you do, and obviously the fans love what you do as well, so it's something that I'm very keen to kind of keep up to date with. I've got to say, man, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. It's been really interesting hearing about your processes, obviously the way you kind of think things through, and I just wanted to say thank you for joining us on the channel. Thank you, dude.
Thanks so much for having me, bro.
There we go. Keep it locked and don't go anywhere, people. Make sure you follow up J-Rocks on all the different social media platforms. They'll be in the link down below. That's it from us. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cubamtv. Stay locked.